Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's to all of you here at Black Seinfeld, the show about nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
That was Mariah Carey featuring Camilo's Garden. All I Want for Christmas is Drill. Bastion, what's your take on that song? I took your formula last week where you did your little remix with Lil Uzi Vert and the Pentatonics.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do
Yeah.
the same thing too.
This one was much better, of course. There's an actual transition to it.
Yes.
But it just fits what drill is. Just very like loud and raspy bass line. And it works. That's the thing. The flow just works with the beat. And it surprisingly sounds very good. So
Thank you. I edited it myself.
yes, very nice. Very nice.
Well, anyways, people, this is it. This is the final episode of Black Seinfeld. And for the final time of 2022, it is I, one of your hosts, Giovanni Anglin, the Trinidadi, Panamanian Poppy, Rude Boy, Top Gunner, Sakpanyamada, aka Mr. Pronouns in our military. They got pronouns in our military. What the heck's a pronoun, Anglin? Hi, everyone.
What's going on? It's Bastion. This is a recording live from LA. Gio is from Brooklyn, New York. As Gio said, this is it's the last live episode, and we
Yes.
will be producing one more episode for the end of the year, which will cover our top albums. Pretty much like we might talk about like top TV shows and top movies, but mostly our top albums of 2022. And to make sure that you don't miss out, please check out blackseinfeld.com where you'll be able to see our latest and greatest episodes. It also shows our video connected to our YouTube channel so you can see our beautiful face as we discuss everything we do on this show. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at BlackSeinfeldNY. And if you have any requests, please, or questions, please reach us out at BlackSeinfeldNY@gmail.com. Gio, how are you doing?
I am doing well. We are now here in New York. It is December 15th, so we are halfway through December. We are halfway done with 2022. And I've honestly just been reflecting on this past year of 2022. I'm thinking about all the stuff we've been through this past year, just not even news wise, not even politically or entertainment wise, but just us personally. Like, for example, Bastion, you moved to LA. That
Yeah.
happened this year, and it feels so long ago, but it actually only happened like 8 months ago.
Yes, it was. I told you I was going to eventually, but after I left my last position in March, I dipped out here to LA. It was interesting. The transition was seamless because I already had things prepared. I knew where I was going to be. I was familiar with the area. The only problem was the commute. If I wanted to go places, it was a lot of lifting at first, but then I realized there's not a lot of Lyft drivers. I don't know if the ratio is just so bad where you could order a Lyft and no one will pick it. So pretty much Ubering everywhere for a decent price, I could say. Once I understood that, finally took the train, finally took the bus, understood why it's great and why it's just absolutely disgusting. This very vile. It's the worst. And like now I respect New York. Like once I dealt with New LA Transit, I could go back to New York. It's like this smell ain't that bad.
It always takes the person to go outside of New York to fully appreciate what he has left behind, you know? And hey, I'll tell you, when I made my trip over to Dallas, when I made my trip over to Atlanta, it made me understand the luxuries of living in the city a lot more. Okay, it made me understand that hey, I don't have to drive around the city if I don't want to. I don't That's not how I can get around. Walking is beautiful, okay? You could take trains as you said, you could take buses. The transportation is incredible, but also just walking, just understanding that you can walk and there's other people with you on the sidewalks. That's actually a really beautiful thing because tell you right now, walking in the streets of Atlanta or even worse, Dallas, Texas, there ain't that many people walking.
And since there's no one walking, there's no sense of security, so you don't know who's behind you or in front of you. you could walk 3 blocks and not a single person besides the cars on the road, which is most likely like a 4 to 5 lane road.
Yeah.
All ridiculous, all ridiculous. But yeah, that's something I did appreciate. I do understand what having a or living in a walkable city like New York
Mhm.
compared to somewhere where it's still filled with a lot of apartments, but it's just highways and stroads, which are like street roads right next to each other. So it's very strange because when you look at Queens, for example, or even Brooklyn, when you have all these apartments, there's like 6 corner stores around the corner just in case you need something
Exactly.
real quick, a CVS, 4 different grocery stores, hopefully not too far from each other, where you don't have like a food desert. But here, it's almost like a food desert in some areas. So you might have to order, or you might have to drive down the block in order to get some food. But luckily for me, there's a lot of grocery stores within walking distance. The biggest thing now, of course, I'm not with my moms and my dad's, like, living at home, grocery shopping, and the inflation. I'm feeling it. I never really grocery shop when the prices were affordable, as people will say. But now I understand why Trader Joe's is a really, really good place. This is not like a ad for Trader Joe's whatsoever.
Yeah.
We don't do ads.
Absolutely not.
But the
Absolutely not.
but the prices there, I was just shocked by going to your local Vons or Ralph's, which is very popular here in the West Coast.
What's Vons?
It's equivalent to like your key food, but I think key food is less. It's more private. No, yeah, yeah. It's like different key foods are owned by different people, while I think Vons is like one type of corporation.
Oh, okay.
So it's like compared to what I will buy, like 4 bags of stuff will always equate to like over $100 in any of those stores. But when I was at Trader Joe's, I always left with like less than 80, less than $60. It was always ridiculous, leaving with like $40 worth of stuff. It's like, no, this is a lot. So I've understood that as an adult because I'm like 28, out here trying to spend money, living above my means, as you should.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that house is never going to happen. So I might as well ball out every single day.
Statistically, yeah, it's not going to happen for millennials anymore. So, what while you are living in your parents' room, you know what I hear? There's a study actually because millennials feel like they're never going to get that house. They've been buying a lot more luxury brand items.
That's what I mean. You have to live your best life because what's better than styling on people, huh? What's better than
Exactly.
styling? It's all about flexing other people. That's all you got to do.
What did that guy from TikTok say? Bitch, I'm stylish.
Exactly. It's
Black
all.
top t-shirt, Billie Eilish.
Do you know who sung that song?
No,
It's the TikTok
but
algorithms, man.
it's the TikTok guy.
But yeah,
But
yeah, that's kind of what I'm reflecting on. Just like living outside, spending bills, and living above your means. So
word.
getting those expensive sushis.
But also living for the first time on actual United States land. You're not on an island anymore. That has to be something huge too.
No, if you're not actively driving, you won't feel it. I understand what you mean. New York is on an island, right?
We
Queens,
are on an island, people.
Queens is definitely like we're pretty much Long Island, but there's this separation just because of how the streets are designed, right? And maybe there is a difference. I never noticed. I can't say I've noticed because even though we're on an island, we're so far away from the water still. I don't think the water really affects the temperature compared to how it is here, where it's the
Mm,
shore. You're literally at the edge of the United States. But
got it.
I don't know. It's very interesting.
Well,
That's a good. I didn't think about it. I didn't think about
yeah.
that.
I also thought about when I was out and about in different states is my new appreciation for New York City uh, walkway traffic signs and how so much better they are than the ones in Texas and in Atlanta. Like they're awful. Like they suck. It can be what I've noticed is when I'm walking around in these states is the traffic sign would be on red, right? But the walkable traffic signs will still be on stop, and it'll be like that for like a good 5 minutes, and everything is just at a standstill. So in the back of my head, I'm like, should I take this chance and play Frogger and just start walking? And what are the chances of that traffic light going green? So I don't know if you've dealt with that at all while in LA, but it was something I've dealt with it in Texas and a little bit in Atlanta.
So the beg buttons on the side are probably like your best friend when it comes to those things. And even if the traffic light is red and the walk crosswalk
Bashing,
is
I was in the
also
South, bro. They don't believe in those things.
what the beg button.
Yeah, they don't have those things.
No, it's not like they don't believe in it. They just never implemented it, or maybe they did and they removed it, or it's not working.
Bashing, they believe in guns. Okay, they don't have them down there. I'm telling you. Okay.
Okay, so there's probably on a different algorithm where if it's turning, maybe that's why they allowed like no crossing pedestrian. But here in LA, there is beg buttons. Sometimes, like I said, if the traffic light is red and the walk signal is also red, you could still walk it, but you have to pay attention on the other side. But if you don't press the beg button in most streets, they will not give you the okay to cross. That's kind of how it is in most places. And just to kind of reflect on what you said in the South in Atlanta, you said in Texas too?
Texas,
Oh, it's
especially
the Texas.
Texas.
So most likely you're not walking that road because there's a lot of videos I've seen where 0.5 mile walk is not a real 0.5 mile walk
Oh,
because it's not walkable. There's no sidewalks for you to walk on, and there's no cross path that will make it easier for you to cross the street. Sometimes you have to walk 1 mile in order to cross the street. So, yeah.
yeah. Thankfully, that did not happen to me. But I will say when I was walking, there was just no sidewalk anymore, but there was just grass on the side. So I was just walking on the grass side. It was a struggle, man. It was bad. I remember looking for oh, for the first time Whataburger because that's a huge Texas chain down there. And it was a 30-minute walk from my hotel. And I'm thinking, oh, this is not an issue. It's 30 minutes. It's gonna be easy. It was not easy. It was hot down there in Texas. Not gonna lie, it was like a good 90 something degrees. Plus, it was humid, and yeah, being the only dumbass wearing a Yankee hat walking up and down the Texas freeway trying to get some Whataburger, it was not cool. And it was so bad that right after I had Whataburger and Raisin Canes, I had to call the Uber to drive me back because I just couldn't do it anymore. And that drive was like a good 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's all over America. As they say, like New York, Boston, Chicago, those cities are pretty much small compared to the rest of the world. And I mean, world, I mean, United States, because that's the perspective we're talking on. Just not designed to be walkable. And it's not designed for anybody in terms of like disabled people and elderly people. And it's
Right.
funny because there's a lot of reports online. You say, hey, you built the city. Like you be 35 paying your taxes, and then you vote these people in. And once you're old, 65, you realize
Mm-hmm.
that you've done everything in your power to create like this great environment, but guess what? It's not built for you. It's built for younger
Right.
people. So there's no ramps,
Exactly.
nothing's accessible. Like it's like you could literally age out of your own community, and that's the worst thing. And if they could fix that, I think it will easily solve the walkable issue. But you
Mm-hmm.
can't even fix that. People could literally age out of their community.
That is true too. But I also think when it comes to politics and voting, I think sometimes for the politicians that we vote for, I think it's important that, since we voted for them, they actually go to work instead of going to all these damn clubs and hanging out with celebrities and getting upset that they didn't make one of the most famous New Yorkers in the New Yorker, which brings me to the very first day of January 2021, 2022, where Eric Adams has sworn in as the new New York City mayor. And Bastion, ever since then, This nigga hasn't done much, man. He really hasn't. Okay, I gotta keep it real. I gotta keep it honest. Okay, he's busy hanging out with ASAP Rocky. Okay, he's busy out here wanting to be on all the videos. He's busy trying to get into the New Yorker magazine for being one of the most famous New Yorkers. That didn't happen. I know he's upset about that. He's just busy being everywhere, but not at City Hall working.
What do you mean? Weren't you? I'm pretty sure we watched the press conference where he was talking about the war.
Oh yeah, the what? The war on the rats?
War on the
Yeah,
rats, exactly.
yeah, I remember seeing that. Yeah, yeah, he wants to get rid of the rats, which I'm all for. Okay, I'm all for.
There are different
The
ways to implement it. I think they're talking about creating these like boxes for trash, so you could just throw your trash in it, and then they could receive it. But yeah, they will have to put it in like every neighborhood, and it's pretty big.
Yeah, so Eric Adams, Bastion, how do you feel Eric Adams has done with his first year almost coming to an end? How do you think Eric Adams has been as a New York City mayor?
Well, I truly don't expect much from mayors within the first year because it's all about priorities, right? They
Mm-hmm.
have to set their priorities straight. They have to make sure that they have their people. They have to make sure that they're able to accomplish some of the problems that the last mayor left. And one of the biggest ones you could say was like policing, for example. And we knew off rip, like it was a mess already. About we could go back 2 years ago or a year ago. No, I guess it'd be 2 years ago when they
2 years, man.
were assembling like all the mayors in order to vote and how to vote. You had to put your top five,
Right.
and it was just a ridiculous way to do it. And I think it was the Daily Show. I
The
think it was,
ranked choice voting. That was when Andrew Yang was
yeah.
running for mayor, and he said his favorite train stop was Times Square, and Z-Way looked at him crazy.
And that was kind of like the best way to describe it's going to be a problem in the future. And lo and behold, he became exactly who we thought he was. So, he's going to shill
Right,
cops.
talking about getting shorties. I'm like, what? How? What? How dare you, Eric Adams? Have some decorum, okay? Stop acting like a Brooklyn ninja, okay? That's for us to do. That's not for you to do as a mayor. You're supposed to show class. You're supposed to show that you care for the city, okay? Oh, you remember that one time, Bastion? It was like his third day as mayor, right? And some woman was getting mugged, right in front of his very eyes. He was like, "See, now you're gonna see the power of the NYPD." So he called up 911. He didn't say this is Mayor Eric Adams, bro. It took them 2 hours to get there. I was like, yeah, the real power of the NYPD there, Mayor Adams. Yeah,
So,
that's what the true power of the force is.
so to kind of like counter, it's like not to speak on him, but like I said, the first year is always going to be rough. It's really hard to jump the gun and implement everything that you want. It's pretty much the rest of the next 3 years what he's going to do. So one of the biggest things that we going to look out for in 2023 is going to be how he deals with homelessness, how he deals with housing, because those are two of the biggest issues here in New York City, especially
That's right.
with the rents going up. And if he, I know it'll never happen, but he would need to kind of create this rent control law in order to do that. But I don't know. He never said anything about that. He will complain, saying he's about to build and add more lower affordable housing. But yeah,
Well, I did remember hearing him saying, one of the issues is that we have all these buildings, but we don't want to put in these homeless people due to the crazy exorbitant prices that these people want to charge, which actually makes sense.
well,
He did say that.
see,
I'll give him that.
so he knows, but he's not doing anything about it because it's not
That's
not
fair.
a country thing. It's a city thing. You create the
Right.
rules, right? If you know everybody's pricing high, then what you do, you create a council, then you create a rent cap, then you build it around zip codes, so you can make sure you can't rent out this apartment for 5,000 a month. Yeah, it's a 1-bedroom studio, and yes, the E train is right here, but why? The only people
because
that work
Bastion,
here are the people that live that work. The only people that live there are the people that work down the street.
you know why they charging $5,000 now? Is because all of these damn little TikTokers coming into the city. They want to live this Sex in the City lifestyle. They want to live. They want to live the New York lifestyle that they see on Friends. They want to go to Central Park. You've been seeing it on TikTok. You've been seeing it. All these damn white people wanting to rate certain foods and stuff. Oh, this is so overrated. Bro, they made beef patty $6 in the Lower East Side. I'll never forgive them for that, okay? And they made a Jamaican spot full of white people, okay? You know why the rent is going up $5,000 for a damn studio apartment near the E train, Bastion. That's because all these little Midwestern people want to come in. Okay, they want to leave LA, come to New York because they want more culture. Then they get upset that they get in culture and they want to kick all the black people out for being black. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of this. Okay, I'm sick of it. You're not gonna win. Okay, I'm sick of y'all. It's the holiday season. Go back to the Midwest and stay there. I hope there's
See,
like a
I have
big
to stop you there. I
snowstorm.
have to stop you there. I'm sorry. We need the people to move to New York City. It's important. That's just
Oh,
the way it
stay
works.
your ass
No,
away.
no, no. You need people to come in. The problem is the rent control.
Immigrants.
The problem is the disconnection between the person living there, right? The person who owns the property. They probably don't even live there. Probably live in Florida, right? They own this, was it 20-unit building. Haven't been in New York in 2 years, but they're and there's like a management in the front. Yeah, of course they're going to charge $5,000 a month. Like what are they going to do? It's messed up. I do agree with you.
Of course you agree.
But it's natural for people to move to New York. Most of these people are broke as hell, right? They move into these $4,000 units and they live with like 8 people. So, that's
Friends.
yeah. But everybody's just trying to hustle, and it's more of the bigger issue. So going back to Eric Adams, there's a lot of things that he needs to not even solve, just have an opinion and have like a resolution to use or to do. Because I don't believe he could solve homelessness in New York City. That's not possible. Not in a year. You have to change the entire system. You have to change how you do taxes in New York City, right? In order to fix it, you have to change the minimum wage. There's a lot to change in order to fix homelessness in New York City. But like I said, rent control, that's something you could fix. That's something that is possible to do. He has a whole team in the city, a bunch of urban study people, urban design. Like they got the numbers ready. They know what they need to do.
But until then, New York is always going to be known for the hustle culture. And as you know, Bash, New Yorkers are always trying to find different ways to make money. And there is a new way that happened this year, Bastion. I know you're not a big fan of it, but a lot of us New Yorkers are. And that is the wonderful world of online betting. See, he's already rolling his eyes. That's right. Caesars, DraftKings, FanDuel, they are all here. They've now been made legal in New York City, and Bastion can't stand it. Meanwhile, a lot of people are blowing their checks on these games. Some are becoming 100,000aires. Some of them are becoming just, thousandaires. Some of people are becoming 10,000aires because of online sports betting. Bastion, how do you feel now about online sports betting here in New York, and maybe it might be coming to California very soon? How do you feel
If
about
it's
that?
coming to California, it'll probably happen maybe next year because people voted against it. I think it was like 65% of people voted against sports betting here in California, which is good because I would also vote for that to be against. My problem is the commercials. All those companies you name, it's not like you know them because you downloaded them on your phone. It's because you watch TV. You watch baseball, you watch hockey, you watch the MSG, like New York Knicks, and they're going to play those commercials all throughout the game. Now,
Even WWE,
yes. So
UFC too.
in UFC, okay, see, they understand. So there's this rule about, I remember when this rule happened, I was like, I think in like middle school, about medication to help you with, the bedroom, right? So they made a rule saying it's like, hey, you can't put like Viagra commercials at like 6 p.m. or like at 3 p.m. You have to do it late night. So you have to play these commercials past 10. I
Right.
want them to implement the same rule for that. You cannot play the commercial during a game, only after the game.
That depletes the purpose, though.
Don't care. You cannot advertise it because I'm going to use the same shill conservatives use for everything else in the world.
Wow. So bashing you conservative right
What
now?
about the children? What about the children? You making it seem that's betting on your favorite basketball player. And hey, kids love sports. Kids see these people as idols. Your favorite basketball player, Aaron Judge, re-signed to the Yankees, right?
That's right. He is now the highest paid man in the MLB.
Imagine you're like, how old do you have to be to sports bet? Like 18, right?
You have to be 18 or older.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
so he's been in the Yankees for a long time, for about like what, 5 years?
Yes.
So let's say you're 13 the minute he signs, right? Now you heard he re-signs. You about to be 18 next year. All right, you know him as a player, don't you think? It's like, I've been seeing these apps. I can now do it on my own. I'm getting a little money with my paycheck post high school, right? I'm a bet. Now you create the addiction. It's just another drug in the system. You're not doing crack, right? But you're gambling your life.
You know what, Bastion? I'm going to use, since you want to pivot the conservative route, let me
I didn't say
pivot the
conservative. Just using a conservative counterpoint.
No, I'm gonna go the conservative route too. Then, all right, because you as parents, you have to better monitor the children.
Parents
Okay,
are useless.
sports betting is not the problem. Okay, the problem is mental health, Bastion. You're using this as a mental addiction to try and appease whatever mental disability you have going on right now. Okay. Sports betting is not the problem. It is these children that's not being monitored from the parents. That's the issue, okay? When I'm a parent, I'm not gonna let my little 17-year-old knucklehead bet on Aaron Judge, okay?
He will be
Because I'm a
18. He will
responsible
be
parent.
18 by then. He can't bet at 17. He'll be 18.
Well, guess what? While he's still in my house, I say no, and I'm still gonna.
You don't have to
him.
find out. How are you gonna find out?
It's easy, Bastion. If on iPhones, you could check what your son does, Bastion, on iPhones.
Oh, I could just wipe off and create a brand new one. Whoa. This is okay. First of all, your parents don't know how to do that.
Well, I'm not my parents.
Okay, so
I grew up with technology.
Okay, so
we grew up in a technology era, Bastion.
Okay, fine. If that's the conversation you think you could have.
They put in pronouns in our military, Bastion.
If that's the conversation you think you could have with parenting, saying you have to pay attention, that's like it's not a counterpart to anything. It just won't work because
it's the Republican way, Bastion. I'm going the conservative route. You got to watch over your kids.
You literally missed my joke, but I get you. But I have to disagree. I have to disagree. Anyways, going back.
Black Seinfeld is brought to you by DraftKings. Vote right now. You can place all your bets on DraftKings. How the pot for tonight is how many more disagreements Black Seinfeld will be having throughout this conversation of 2022. Put your votes now on DraftKings and FanDuel and Caesars.
You could also, what is it, like buy out, like you could like close out before the end of the game.
Right. That's right. You could close out by 1:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Because I don't know what it is over in Pacific Time. I think it's 11, right?
Yes. Before that, 10:30. 10:30.
10:30?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's 9:30 right now. See?
So going back, just quickly talking about sports betting, I think it's bad. I think they should change how they're doing the commercials. That's the safest way to do it because you can't stop the kids. The kids grow up, and you can't stop an adults because you could be chilling. You can get a little extra money because it's Christmas season. You know, you get those holiday pay. Your paycheck gonna be a little bit bigger, right? It's a little bit bigger for Thanksgiving. It's a little bit bigger for Christmas. You're gonna use that extra money to gamble. You know what? You could use that extra money to do save. You gotta save. You know what I mean? You know, you could have bought that holiday ham. Yeah, it was $80, but it would have been delicious. So
Yeah, I hear you, man.
So that's the only problem with, like, it's not the only problem. I that's my only way to solve it. If I was mayor of New York City, it would be like changing the rules on when you could showcase these commercials. That's it. Past 10 p.m. Fine, you could show it through overtime, but you cannot show it before the game at 6 p.m. After the game at 9:30, maybe 10. Sure.
Well, Bastion, I'm gonna bring some more news to you that's even gonna make you more mad, and that was the ending of all the mandatory COVID protocols here in New York City. Yes, that means the trains, that means for businesses, that means for schools. Bastion, all of the protocols are now over here in the city. Most of them are now optional. I know you aren't the happiest about these decisions. I know I'm not now, especially with all the crap that's going on right now. I know news anchors are calling this here in the city a tridemic because of RSV and COVID and the flu. So yeah, I've been masking up a lot more now, and a lot of
Tridemic. Hold up. I can't.
tridemic.
That's the first I've heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
We're a weak human species. That's all. Okay, so first of all, I don't go outside with my mask. I'm not going to front. I'm like Iron Man out here. All right. Should I go back to wearing the mask? Yeah, I should. I just don't have any. I ran out. Very easy to buy. That's not an excuse.
But you
I know.
also in Cali too. You don't see that many people. It's not like here because
I take public transportation. I'm literally in the dirt.
Is it packed?
It's never packed, but it's always in the air. That's the way it works. It's airborne.
I know.
So
we covered this for 2 years, Bastion.
So you already know. Hey, the listeners may not know. We get new listeners every time we talk.
That is true.
So yes, we're going backwards, and there's more and more outbreaks of, as Gio said, RSV, COVID, and the flu. We can't really deal with them. We get sick for a week, 2 weeks, knocked out, coughing, hurting your chest, congestion, everything you could think of. We should just get the common flu.
Yes.
But this is also kind of equivalent to the common flu too. So what are we going to do? Are we just going to create new vaccines for it for the future in 2023, 2024? Or are we just going to do the normal American way? It's like, hey, we could have dealt with it. We can't deal with it, so we just have to live with it. So that's something that, in my opinion, is going to happen. We're just going to have to live with what's going on with the RSV and the flu and the COVID. Every year you're going to get it. Every year someone's in their family's going to get sick.
Well, I
Every
will
year the
say
office
this.
is going to get sick.
The way people have treated monkeypox as seriously as they did back in the summer of 2022, I think it gives me hope. Okay, because they acted fast on the monkeypox. You feel me? And now you don't really hear, or I don't hear much about monkeypox that more. I'm not saying it doesn't exist now, but there was vaccine for it. People did take it, and now it seems like the monkeypox cases, which was high back in the summer, has now gone all the way down. So that gives me some hope, Bastion. I can't have you be the curmudgeon here as you normally are with this stuff. So I'm gonna take the high road and say, you know what? I believe humanity can, we could come back from this. I feel like that we can learn from what our LGBTQ dynamic has learned from the monkeypox and came together strong. I think we can do this too, not just as a people, but as Americans. America.
It's only an American perspective that you could say that. So I understand your perspective, Gio. It's always interesting to see how the rest of the world is dealing with it. by just
Yes.
dealing with it. Like in China, they are shutting down like Hong Kong and major cities because it could be like 50% of the office has COVID. So it's just blossoming through. There haven't been large reports where people are in the hospital. So that's literally what the vaccine does, people. That's the vaccine working. You can still get COVID, but you ain't dying. Or lack of, or you're getting too sick. People here, it's just not the same way. I don't know. I can't really describe what's going on because I could look at other countries and like some West African countries just has no vaccines whatsoever, but they don't have the same amount of deaths or the same amount of sickness in COVID compared to us, United States. So it's a very strange thing.
You have
Something
different variants here too,
it's
Bastion.
different variants, but I don't know. I just don't know what's going on anymore because we're not getting that information that we did in the beginning of like 2020 or
Hmm.
like I said, the middle of 2020. And the best we could do is just deal with it. It's not my job to deal with it too. It's the government's. But it's like, hey, you're not giving us any protocols. You're not giving us any manuals. I'm just going to play the game and just like wing it. So
Got it. I hear you, man.
yeah,
Well,
it's not good for everybody, but hopefully we could hopefully it could disappear. That I think that's the biggest thing, especially with the RSV. Do you know people that ended up getting it?
I actually don't know people who ended up getting RSV,
Hmm.
but I do know people who ended up getting COVID again.
Okay, yeah, I see both. I know people that got both.
Damn.
Not both, but I
At
know
the
people
same time?
not at the same time. But I know a group
Oh, I
of
was
people that
about to
got
say.
RSV and another group of people that got COVID.
That's pretty scary though, because now it's just either, hey, maybe I'm just sick, or maybe I got COVID, or maybe I got RSV. That's gotta be that's gotta be stressful. I actually did get sick. I did get sick for the first time since 2019 because I didn't get COVID or anything like that. Bash will say, "Oh no, it was just dormant." But no, I ain't get COVID. So there you go, Bastion. Anyways, I did get sick for the first time since 2019. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit, I did get shook a little bit. I was like, oh damn, maybe it finally got me after all these years. But no, it was just a little sick ting. I was just congested, had a little cough, and that was that. So, you
That
know,
that's another thing, people. Your body is supposed to get sick every now and then because it's kind of like flushing your system. So it's like if you get like a quick fever for an hour or two or for a day, that's like your body like killing a lot of germs. Natural sickness is the thing. It's not, of course, you're not supposed to be sick for like a whole week. Then it could be like the flu or RSV. But if you're only sick for like a day or two, yeah, that's like your body just cleaning your whole body out.
mhm.
Yeah,
America has a sickness going on right now, Bastion. The internet has a sickness going on right now, and it's your former boss. Okay, it's your former boss. All right, Elon Musk, people. That's right. The head of Tesla, the head of SpaceX. He bought Twitter. Okay, and since then, the N-word usage has shot up 400%. People such as the artist formerly known as Ye has come back to Twitter. Andrew Tate is back on Twitter. Um,
Trump,
Trump is back on Twitter, but
Jordan
also,
Peterson, a lot of like weirdo conservatives.
yes, but also, Bastion, for the low, low price of $8 a month, for a small time, people can now get the very sought after blue verified check mark. And for a while there, it's was going down on Twitter. Okay, I'm talking a lot of fake accounts were verified, and I remember one for I believe it was like dialysis, right? Uh, the creators of dialysis said, "Hey, we're gonna make dialysis free," and the stock just plummeted. And so I thought that was awesome. Um, what is your takes on your former boss, Mr. Elon Musk, Bastion,
This
and
had
his purchase of Twitter?
um to reflect on what we said many episodes ago. This is pretty much the worst decision he's ever done. But who is to blame is it the buyer that had buyer's remorse and like decided to pull out, or is the seller the person that said you have to buy it from us so we can make that multi millions?
Mm.
And all my staff, they're just going to just lose their jobs. That's essentially the way I look at it. It's like you sold because he pulled out originally. Then they would say we're
He
going
did
to court so
the
to
bot.
in
Hey,
order to force you to buy it. And before they went to trial, it's like I think his lawyers probably told him like, yeah, you're going to lose, so you're going to have to buy everything. Then he bought it. Then the minute he came in, it's like, oh, you guys make no money. You're not profitable. We're going to scrap everything and just slowly rebuild it back up. So if you're not a super genius, you're fired. And that's apparently that's what happened straight up. Even though we are in this era right now where a lot of corporate or especially tech industry jobs are doing a lot of layoffs in order to
yep.
balance for the loss or in order to create more profit for the end of the year, especially because a lot of the VCs aren't putting up money. That's why places like Airbnb seem a little bit more expensive than before, just because they're trying to be a little bit more profitable. So for now, Twitter is just a really bad show,
It
and
is.
it should have been canceled in terms of like and the pilot, after the pilot season. But here we are, every single day, small problems I have every now and then, but it's the same experience because it could be like
It
that
is.
2 hour where it's like, wow, everything's Elon Musk's fault. Then you have like the rest of the 22 hours, like, oh yeah, it's still Twitter though. So
Yeah, but it's just worse.
just worse. Or we know why things are going the way. The energy isn't the same. The energy hasn't been the same since.
I agree. I agree. Also on the internet, Bastion, we've had the rise of the scammer documentaries. And we all know some of my favorites that came out this year. One of them being my guy Simon Leviev, aka the Tinder Swindler, who is, I think, is the captain. He is the Lionel Messi when it comes to the city boys. He is number 10, Bastion. He is Messi. He is Mbappe. He is the one where he has taken several girls like credit cards and have spent millions and millions and millions of dollars and put these women in massive, massive, massive amount of debt. Something that the city girls would preach in their music. But now that, a man, an intelligent man has done it, has now put the man gender back several steps in in the eyes of our lady folk, which I think is insincere and it's not fair at all. I think personally, I think Simon Leviev, he's a hero. I think he's a true visionary. I think he is what Andrew Tate would call a top G, in my opinion. And I'm totally just talking a bunch of crap right now, but it was a good documentary. I will say that.
You know, documentaries are one thing, but I would say the biggest fraud of this year or scammer would be Sam Bankman-Fried, who
I
is the
just heard
founder
about him.
of FTX, who recently
Mhm.
got arrested in Bahamas. And if you didn't hear about it, and I'm pretty sure we spoke about it many times a couple weeks ago, FTX was a cryptocurrency platform in order to trade and do other things. Of course, they lost billions and billions of dollars, especially for investors, people that participated in FTX. If you don't remember where FTX is, they're pretty much everywhere. So it could be in your Super Bowl commercials with Larry
Mhm.
David, or I forgot which NBA team has their logo on it. I remember watching a commercial with Jordan Poole of the Golden State Warriors, and I saw the FTX logo in his commercial, and I'm just like, they put their money everywhere.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine if one of the stadiums was named FTX Stadium, that would be
Mm.
super super embarrassing. But he's one of the biggest scammers. He's one of those people. First of all, I didn't know who he was. For some reason, I'm always missing out on like super billionaires because this happened with Elizabeth Holmes as well. Where it's
Right.
like, when did she pop off, and how come I've never heard of her? I only know about her downfall. So same thing about this Sam Bankman-Fried guy. I've only known about the downfall. I did not pay attention to any of his interviews. Now, when people are now infamous, people look back. People try to backtrack to say, where did it all go wrong? So when you see these
Right.
old videos of him being a very generous billionaire, it's like, this is very suspicious. This gnarly looking dude is to be trusted by billionaires, like multimillionaires too.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about just losing money. And also the way he talks about trading, and the way they talk about like lack of investment and not reading books, because reading books is not safe, because it's not the best way to do things. These are the people that people are giving billions and billions of dollars to. So tight,
Mm-hmm.
tight, tight.
Well, also, I think what's even crazy is that these NFT sort of people were praised at one point, and they were acknowledged by Forbes on the Forbes list, like, oh, this is the new Mark Zuckerberg, oh, this is the new Bill Gates, and now look at him, known for scamming, and they asses is in jail.
You could say the same thing for NFTs. Yeah, like how they made their run
Mm-hmm.
around. So this is going to pop off, and it's like, the
Mm-hmm.
concept just doesn't make any sense. And many things that were sold for $1 million, $2 million are now worthless. And my favorite thing that was worth like $2 million was the first tweet.
Oh yeah.
The first tweet, he sold it for like
Oh.
$2 million, but now it's worth less than 200,000. Sick.
And what's crazy is the amount of celebrities that were endorsing these NFT coins and these bitcoins, and these celebrities saying that, hey, this is my Bitcoin. So when you invest in this Bitcoin, you get X, Y, and Z. And what happens is, what we've learned throughout the years, is a lot of these are just rug pulls. So what happens is, um, the NFT or the Bitcoin, it will start off high. It'll start off just a little bit high, and then what would happen is, as soon as people start buying in, these celebrities and the creators of the Bitcoin or even NFT will just would just sell immediately, and then the stocks would just start plummeting fast immediately. So once you buy in at one price, the next minute it could go down half of what you paid, and you can lose at least half of your money within like a good 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And that is what you call rug pulls, my friend. And those were some of the biggest scams of 2022.
I, I,
And a lot of your influencers were part of it. Lil Uzi Vert, Takashi, all of them were participating in these NFT and Bitcoin rug pulls. But now, guess what? Seems like they're getting their get backs, because now a lot of these celebrities are getting their asses sued for it. And I'm happy to see it, because they were endorsing stuff that they didn't know about, that they were just paid to post about and all that crap. And now, because all these good people that believed in them, that just believed in their celebrity, that believed in the Bitcoin and NFT movement, they were putting all their hard earned freaking money into it. And you know what? They had nothing to show for it. So, hey, I'm happy all asses is getting sued.
that's the downfall for many things. It's to get rich quick is
Exactly.
the problem, So
It is.
exactly, like what we're talking about in terms of NFT is equivalent to what's going on with sports betting. Same energy, right, Gio?
Uh, no, no,
Same
not the
energy.
same. Not the same
So every
energy.
celebrity that doing those
Sports
commercials
betting
should
is
be
like
sued because I bet
sport.
so much money that I'm down negative $10,000. Who should I blame?
No, sports betting is like Uncut Gems. You've seen that movie with Adam Sandler, right? And Julia Fox. That's what sports betting is like.
It's the
Okay.
same thing.
No, because the nigga won at the end. Okay, he won.
It's the
He
same
just got
thing.
shot. Okay, that's not what NFT is. You just lose off rip, unless if you're a celebrity. Okay, Adam Sandler won at the end. Then he died. Okay, because Sports betting, you could actually win something. NFTs, if you're not a celebrity, you're just gonna lose off rip.
Same thing.
It's not the same thing. Moving on, Bash. And what else happened in 2022? Or do you want to take a break?
Let's take a quick break. Pause for the
Okay, we're gonna
cause.
take a little pause for the cause, and we're gonna continue with one more Christmas music for the year. And we're gonna end this off with a little bit of soul, a little bit of Godfather of soul, that man, James Brown, the architect for some of your favorite artists like Michael Jackson, James Brown, all of them. Uh, 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 um, Here we go. I was gonna name more, but I'm like, brain freeze. Santa Claus comes straight to the ghetto. The ghetto. That was James Brown with Santa Claus Go Straight to the Ghetto, one of my favorite Christmas tunes. What about you, Bastion? Do you listen to this song a bit
I
during the
I don't
holidays?
think I ever heard this song before, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
It's one of my favorites.
interesting. Yeah, first time hearing it. Sounds good. Sounds very soulful.
Sounds very James Brown-esque. You can hear him, starts foot shuffling to this record. Band is amazing as always.
Of course.
And with music, I just want to talk about the music a little bit that was blessed upon us in 2022. Bastion, do you want to start it off? Because I have a lot to say about the music catalog, the music library that has been blessed upon specifically me this year.
We could save that
Honestly,
talk for next episode.
I mean, we can, but okay, that's fine. That's fine. We can do that.
I don't want to repeat ourselves once you
That's
record
that's
next
fair.
time.
That's fair. I wasn't gonna, like rank any albums or anything, but I just wanted to just say how thankful I am for this year, honestly, when it comes to music, because you know I've been so blessed to get damn near everyone that I've wanted for a long time to drop an album, and they've done it. Okay. And I feel bad for you, Bash, and I gotta be honest. I feel bad for you because I know how much it hurts that Frank Ocean is not dropping a single damn thing. And I really want that for you. Honestly, I want that for you. Ever since April, okay, when Kendrick Lamar just awoken from a slumber and came out with that illustrious Instagram post that he was dropping Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers as a double LP, I thought, damn, when is Frank Ocean gonna do the same for my man's Bastion? So, just want to say that to you.
And I understand what you mean in terms of like there are a lot of artists that I was hoping for them to drop projects this year, or maybe I look forward for them to drop projects next year. And of course,
Yeah.
on top of my list will be Mr. Ocean himself, Mr. Frank Ocean, who
Yes.
is more like a jewelry salesman now in a way, which is still art because artists are multifaceted. It's just not enough to be good at one thing. You have to be good at many things. And deep down, we're all kind of rappers, in a way. we're all kind of rappers. So yeah, Frank Ocean is definitely one of the biggest disappointment, but also hopes. So it's same coin, different sides.
Well, Bastion, I would give you like a list of artists that I want to drop music next year, but I have to be honest with you. I've been so satisfied with the list that I came for 2022 for these artists to drop, and literally damn near everyone dropped. So for 2023, I got to be honest with you, I am fine. I don't care who drops in 2023. I know one band is going to drop in 2023 that I'm excited about,
Mm-hmm.
and that is my favorite band right now, Paramore. I know they're dropping soon in February. I'm excited for them. As for everyone else, I could care less. Whoever decide to drop your music, because I can't complain. Honestly, I cannot. I said I wanted Joey Badass, he dropped. I said I wanted King Kendrick to drop, he dropped. I said I wanted the Prince of Toxicity himself, Brent Fias, to drop, and he dropped. Feel me? Said I wanted Scissor to drop, and she gave us one of the best albums, her final album, quote unquote, and she came out with Heat, Bastion.
We'll get to that in a second.
We will get to that in a second. So I'll be honest. I don't care who drops in 2023. I'm good.
So you want me to go over my list a little quick?
Let me hear you. The only person I'm want to drop, Rihanna. That's it.
She's not on
Just
my
Rihanna.
list. She's not on my list.
She's not on your list.
I no longer see her as an artist in the same way. I do see her as like, you know, a salesperson. This transition to billionaire status, you just stay in that lane. So one of the artists, a small band, Shabazz Palaces, always making futuristic sounds, futuristic music. I always talk about them on the show. Hope we could get something from them. It'd be really cool in terms of listening to experimental music, because I think this year I was listening to a lot of pop, hip hop. Not much rock this year, but a lot of pop and hip hop albums. So I need something like really, really pushing the edge, experimental. That's what I was always hoping for, Shabazz Palaces. Leading on to my other artists, I hope to hear them, because they did announce a tour for later next year, Death Grips. So definitely very excited for that, because they announced a tour, so that means they're definitely dropping an album. And they already did like two spots on their Instagram. So it's like, all right. So definitely getting something from them real soon. An artist that I definitely know will also drop, because they recently dropped their last single, Sugar Honey Iced Tea, on ASAP Rocky. I don't know if you saw the new music video for his.
I have not seen his new music video. How is it?
It's really good. ASAP Rocky has the best music videos, hands down. Always 12 out of 10. I do recommend checking it out. But Rihanna's baby father, ASAP Rocky, he brought New York Boys price go up. You remember? If you remember,
absolutely. The stock of the New York Ninjas went up as soon as Rihanna got pregnant by ASAP Rocky.
Once that photo shoot happened with the pink jacket.
Right. Absolutely. Again, in 2022, New York Ninjas is up, baby. That's what we do.
So ASAP Rocky, someone who last album wasn't really feeling as terms of the whole project testing, but those songs individually are really good. So, yeah. Then I said Frank Ocean already. MGMT, I was hoping to get some new music for them, because they did drop this weird live 2011 thing.
I did see that. That was on my Apple. That was on Apple Music. I didn't see it on my Spotify, but I did see that on my Apple Music, and it did sprung up some curiosity. So it's gonna be about 5 years next year since Little Dark Age. So
exactly.
If they keep that gothic theme and all that, I'm gonna be into it. I don't know if they're gonna do that. They might do something new.
Yeah, I assume they'll do something else.
We'll see.
Well, if you heard the album before Little Dark Age, it was just not.
Congratulations.
No, that's the second album.
No, wasn't that the one that came out in 2010, and then that one, oh no, the one before Little Dark Age, that's the self-title, right?
I will have to.
Or am I tweaking?
You're missing two albums.
Because first one was Oracular Spectacular, right? Then after that it had to have been the self-title, and then Congratulations. No, am I tweaking?
It's Congratulations self-titled, then Little Dark Age. Yes.
Okay. See, all right,
so it's MGMT. I wasn't too crazy about. So yeah, I was hoping to hear them, because they dropped that live thing, and I was like, all right, so maybe they'll do something else in the future. This sounds interesting. Sampha, one of my favorite R&B artists, doesn't drop music ever. Maybe a single or work for the artist here and there. Beautiful music always. I go back to his album time after time.
Me too.
It's just need some more Sampha in the world.
I told you, man. This man has the voice of melted butter and angel's wings. It's so majestic. I've seen him live, Bash, and I'll never forget it. He's incredible. Okay. The man was playing the drums, okay? He's really good. He's incredible.
And speaking of drums, Anderson .Paak. I hope for another Anderson .Paak album.
He's on my list, but I was thinking about Xing him out because he did come out with Bruno Mars, Silk Sonic, a very somewhat underwhelming album. But hey, yes, Anderson Paak is definitely someone who I want to drop. And for the record, Bruno Mars, he got to drop something new too, man. It's been a while, man. It's been a while. I know he had Silk Sonic with Anderson Paak, but he hasn't dropped a solo album since 24 Karat, and that's been a long ass time. So I want some Bruno to sniff up some more coke, go back in the studio, and give me some more magic.
I agree. Definitely agree. Flying Lotus, I hope for a project.
He dropped a project last year.
Yeah.
That was your number
No, no,
one.
that was the soundtrack. That was a straight up soundtrack. I want like an actual Flying Lotus project from him.
Okay,
That was the sound,
fine.
just like what Ludwig does. So,
But it was an
oh, it was an
experience though
amazing experience. It was my
of
my number one
Beyonce.
album last year.
I just said that, Bastion.
So, but I want a Flying Lotus project. Anyways, and Tame Impala was another one. Hopefully, but
He dropped 2 years ago. That man
yeah,
ain't
then it'll
dropping
be
nothing
third
anytime
year.
soon.
Exactly.
He ain't dropping nothing anytime soon, Bastion. You know that.
You will next year, and of course, Radiohead, one of my favorite bands of all time. It'd be interesting if they had some stuff laid around, randomly drop. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Those are the artists that I'm just hoping for new music, but I'm also hoping to get into new music from different artists. Maybe artists that I
That's fair.
definitely missed out. Like Mavi, for example, is someone I will definitely talk about next week or next episode. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of artists out there, new artists that just didn't give enough time to, but now, I have some free time. It's always fun to be fans of new people, so you could expect things
True.
from their second or third project. So that's what I'm excited for next year.
I agree. Um, as I stated before,
And
Bastion,
Ice
great
Spice,
list.
Ice Spice, yeah.
Ice Spice,
There we go. That
100%.
should be a number one.
That's not number one right there. Ice Spice. You thought I was failing you? Fucking munch. I absolutely waiting for that new Ice Spice debut album full of all the features in the world. It's gonna be like 20 records. It's gonna be 20 minutes long. I can't wait. I can't wait, Bastion. Great list, by the way. I think yours was well thought out. And I was honest with you with mine. I don't have a list because I am so happy and so blessed with the music that was bestowed upon me ever since the ending of 2021 into just a full year of 2022. Like I really got everything I wanted. The only thing I've ever still wanted, because they ended things last year right when Bobby came out and they blew themselves up. All I ever wanted was a new Daft Punk record. That's it. That's never happening. That's never happening. Leave me alone, Bastion. I
Finito,
already know. I
finito.
know it's finito, Bastion. Remember, we made an episode about it, okay? That was when Bobby Shmurda came out, okay? That was the same exact day, and then they blew themselves up. And I will still want that damn record, okay? I still want one. Stop giving me a 25th anniversary record, okay?
It's funny. All right, let's get into the Scissor album.
That's right. The new, it's after 5 years of that classic Bastion, that 2017 summertime R&B banger, Classic Control. After all of the mental breakdowns, after all of the continuous fightings over her management and of course from Top Dog Entertainment, the woman of Top Dog herself, the biggest star in TDE, SZA, is back with SOS. And this is a well-deserved 23-track album, in my humble opinion, Bastion. Over an hour and 8 minutes long. And I gotta be honest, Bastion, you know what I was expecting when this album finally arrived? I mean, we were getting certain tracks from SZA back since 2020. Okay, we got Good Days. We got that one track with the Neptunes. You know what I'm saying? We had Smile recently. And there was one thing I wanted from SZA from this record. You know what that was, Bastion? I wanted not a slither of an ounce of growth and maturity on this record. Okay. I wanted full toxicity in this record. I wanted Ninjas Ain't Ish on this record. And you know what, Bastion? She fully delivered in what I wanted from a scissor record. But she did diversify herself with this record, Bastion. Not only just sticking to R&B, but guess what? Scissor's rapping on this record. Scissor's in a singer songwriter acoustic guitar bag, but also Bastion, she's also in her early 2000s pop punk Avril Lavigne before the cloning bag. That's right, in F&F. I only F them because I missed you. Like, who says toxic ish like that? SZA. You know why? Because she's toxic. Okay, and that's what I love about SZA. Bastion, have you turned on this record at all once?
I did. I've listened to it maybe like 4 or 5 times already.
Okay, and,
Um,
and what are your thoughts?
so
What are
I
your first
I'm
impressions?
not a huge SZA fan. Um,
Like me,
like Gio, I've heard all her projects. I do remember when Z came out because I think
That's like 2014 vibes.
I do have like a mental complaint from Z. I think she's did a song on like an XXYYXX song,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, why didn't she remix it? Why did she just like work on the instrumental? That was back in 2014, right? This is like very on brand, purist Bastion. Listen to SZA, but I thought it was great. I thought Control was all right. Not the biggest fan of Control. Thought it was a good record, but I didn't go back to it. Listen to it a couple times. I did review it by myself like in 2019. Then of course when it was re-released again this year,
Here,
and I
yes,
did listen
yes.
to it again. It's like, okay, so she's definitely dropping with something new. Because why would they re-release it again?
With new
With
records
new
too,
records, of course.
new old
I
records.
listened to it again as the re-release, and I still felt the same exact way. It was like, this is good, but I'm not crazy about it. So this is cool. And I kind of feel the same way for SOS.
Oh, great.
There's a lot of great songs on it, but it's clear it's too long. It's too long of a
You have your
project,
life
personally.
together. That's why you don't like it like that, Bastion. Just say that.
I'm not so boring as a person where I need to relate to music. I'm literally listening to 80s music, and I don't relate to any of these bands. But I know if it's good, I like it a lot. That's how I feel about like listening to Talking Heads, or currently listen to XCC now, old band. Anyways, I don't really care for that. That people say I can't relate, so I can't connect. No, some songs just sound real good. That's why like SOS is a great banger intro, right? There's a
Yes.
quick rapping. She has like the backpack R&B flow.
Mm-hmm.
This you know, bragging about herself, self-deprecating. Damn right, I'm
I
the
am
one.
that B word. I'm that B word.
Damn right, I'm the one. She's
That's right.
very confident, and that's the way the album started off. And we get to Kill Bill. Thought was a very funny track about killing her ex in a very, very uh, beautiful, dark way. So
Yes.
by the time I get to the end of the album, it's like, all right, some songs are cool, some songs are just threw me not like it threw me off. Just I just didn't see any replay value in it. This is a very long project, and what I probably will do after a couple more listens is just chop it down and make my own personal playlist. Well, I kind of cut half the half the album out for me to get listens from it. I'm not dissing SZA. I'm just saying not every song is great. The same thing for how I feel about the Weeknd's music in general. It's like some Weeknd songs are just 12 out of 10. Some Weeknd
Mm-hmm.
songs are like 6 out of 10. It's like I'll skip this one. And I'm a huge Weeknd fan, so that's how I feel about this current SZA album. Like some tracks do have the quick skip button. Even the song with Travis Scott, didn't care for it. And I'm a big Travis Scott
Wow.
fan. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wait, are we talking about Low or the actual Travis Scott one?
No, Low was
Gone.
hilarious because he had the ad libs.
That's right.
I actually did like that song. The ad
That
libs
was one of my
were a
favorites.
plus. It was good chemistry because I think they have great chemistry.
They do. They've made great records before.
But Open Arms, not feeling it, and I feel like that might be like a weird thing is I'm comparing it as a Travis Scott feature, but also as a SZA song with Travis Scott. Because the last,
Mhm.
in my opinion, the last really really good Travis Scott feature is what he did with Drake recently. Um, with 21.
Oh, yeah. On Her Loss, correct?
Yes, on Her Loss. I forgot the name of the track. It's not important. But anyways, that's like the last good Travis Scott verse. It's like, oh, okay.
It was yeah, it's P Word and Millions.
Yes. Now my first that's like one of my first songs of this year actually. Um this so just going back to SZA, it's like, all right, this is cool. Very very dark. I'm gonna kill my ex. I left my ex. I messed with my ex. Self-deprecating, fake booty, you know. uh,
She did confirm it was a fake booty.
which was hilarious and pretty cool. And then ending the album with "Old Dirty Bastard," and
Yes. What were your thoughts on the Old Dirty Bastard
it's fitting.
track,
It's
which is
fitting.
Forgiveless?
It's very very fitting, and it's very important to people to understand. Like it's the energy of "Old Dirty Bastard," right? It fits within what she's trying to do. So yeah, that's kind of my perspective on it. I was like, you know, it's and also it's very important to understand SZA is just like RZA, hence it stands for Savior or Sovereign, Zigzag Zigala. So
Mm.
of course she'll be about that. Come on, name like SZA,
Mm.
Savior.
She is from Jersey, after all.
With a name like Savior, do you feel like she's a savior and sovereign? That's what the S stands for people that don't know in the supreme alphabet.
Well, I will say this, Bastion. I know you have pretty much the same opinion about SZA and her record as you did with Love, with I was gonna say Love Galore, but that's the track with Travis Scott over in the 2017 Control album. I will
Classic,
say
yeah.
this as a fan of SZA done did it again, man. I think this album is freaking fire, man. I think it's incredible. I think it's amazing. I think um she does the self-deprecating. She is she becomes vulnerable about what she really wants in a partner and what she wants in an actual relationship, but she isn't afraid to share her toxic views and certain toxic things that some women may share, like smashing some other dude because she actually misses you, which is one of the craziest things I've ever heard in my life while listening to a Scissor record. But hey, some women can agree with that. Also, she talks about being in a relationship with the dude and how she felt self-conscious because she didn't look a certain way and she didn't have the certain body type, and now she hates how she felt about herself, and now that's why she got a fake ass and all that stuff. I thought that was very poetic. It felt like somewhat of a continuation from Control, where she was very introspective about herself and her relationships, and I think SZA sometimes she makes music for side chicks that want to be main chicks. That's how I feel about SZA's music as a whole. And hey, I get it. I get it. Sometimes you side chicks can be very problematic, and that's why you side chicks. And if you want to be a main chick, just don't do what SZA does. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, in certain records, you want to ignore the fact that the man that you with has a girlfriend at home. You wanna do those things, okay? That's not the way, to be the steak. That's why he still treats you like asparagus. It's very entertaining musically. All right, you say it very rhythmically. Okay, I don't think you're a whisper vocalist. I think you're actually a really good singer because we heard you sing an Afropunk. We weren't there because we were waiting for Solange, but I heard you next stadium. We heard you.
I heard the
Okay,
echoes.
we heard the echoes. You sound really good. You sound like the record. Damn it. Okay, I love the rapping. I love your little ode to early
Wait, hold on.
2000s.
When did you see Solange? That I ain't
That was like 20. That was 2018.
2018. Okay, damn, I missed
Yeah,
out. Probably skipped that one because you
probably
know how
did
I feel
skip it.
about Afropunk.
I know, Bastion. But
Okay,
damn, I was on a tangent. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I love the little ode that you did to early 20 early 2000s pop punk. You're the Avril Lavigne, No Doubt sort of vibe that you were going for. I like that. I know,
The
not
song
every it
Love
wasn't.
Language also felt like a very smooth early 2000 R&B vibe as well.
Yes, yes. She
That's
took a
another
lot
track I
from
liked a lot.
she took a lot from from Aaliyah.
Yeah, that's a very Aaliyah sounding track. More, of course, more
Mhm,
up to date because the hi hats are very too crisp. But yeah, that was another song I wrote on my list. Love Language,
mhm.
very good.
Yeah, I even like the Phoebe Bridgers track. Very singer songwriting acoustic little thing. Phoebe Bridgers, she didn't overstay her welcome. She didn't try to steal SZA's spotlight. I thought it was fine. I thought it was
The
cool.
track was alright.
It
Uh,
was fine. But I enjoyed this
oh,
album.
Smoking
It's
My X Pack.
Smoking My X Pack was crazy.
See, like grime, like go all the way. Like any song when she went all the way grimy is the songs that roll on my list. Like this is great. So you see like what I'm trying to say. Like
Yes.
if she goes
Yes.
all the way grimy, it's a 12 out of 10 song. But when she's chilling, making music, I get it. Cool. This is good. This is cool. But when she's
Now,
grimy, perfect.
now, before we get into the next album, SZA saying this is her last album in music. Do you believe it? I personally don't. Um,
That's the
yeah,
second
that's
person
how.
that said it this year. Then, well, that I've been
Right.
paying attention
Mm,
to. Last person that
right.
said that was Freddie Gibbs.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he said that multiple times.
I think we'll be back again.
He said he's done. He put everything he can in that album. Uh,
Oh yeah, remember when Logic said, "Oh yeah, that album 2 years ago was gonna
never.
be my last."
I never believed in Logic because he's a really,
We
really
never believed.
he's a rapper's rapper. So it's like he has bars for days. It's like Lupe Fiasco. It's like Lupe didn't want to drop the more recent album he did, but he had a lot of on his mind, and I think he did the whole project in like less than a month. So
And that
yeah,
that new Logic album that came out this year wasn't that bad.
yeah, it wasn't that bad. So he has ideas. I have my problems with it, but I'm pretty
Of
sure I
course,
discussed about it when we did
yeah,
the
we
review.
did, we did, but wasn't that
It
bad.
wasn't that bad. So that's how most records are this year. I'm from the Lana Del Rey era, where when she dropped her first album and said this is my last one because I didn't like how people were talking about me on social media. She dropped like eight
Yeah,
albums since. So
it's great.
so
Still about how crappy you are with relationships and how ableist you are. Yeah,
so it's
Lana. That's what we need. We need a SZA Lana Del Rey collab.
yeah,
The ultimates
just that's what I
to
mean.
come together.
Those are my favorite type of music. Just get in the nitty gritty part of your heart. Just like the old school Kid Cudi. Just get into the darkness. You know, that's the fun. That's the fun of it.
Okay. All right. Thanks for that, Bastion. Now let's get into an album that I didn't know was gonna come out at all until Bastion has brought it upon me, and I only listened to it once, Bastion. So I'm sorry, because I was listening to that damn SZA record for the past weekend. But closing out 2022 for me, I'm not listening to any more records. I promise. Unless, I don't know, some Jay-Z drops a surprise album or something. But my favorite record 2021 was from Little Sims. And she is back again already. A 10-track album called No Thank You. Bastion. Lil Sims is just rapping on this one. It's very different from her last album. She just rapping, just straight up rapping, just straight up drums. Is not that it's not that much variety into it, in my opinion. It's just her just straight up rapping. What do you think?
I didn't listen to the project.
You ain't listen to it?
No, you're a huge Little Sims fan, not me.
Oh man, I only listened to it once because SZA dropped. But yeah, I like it so far.
Okay.
I think Lil Sims, she's one of the best MCs, period, right now. Not even just female MCs, not even just women MCs. She's just one of the best MCs, period. And I have to continue listening to her album.
Yeah, we don't have
But
to talk about it just yet.
good.
Yeah.
No Thank You is good. No Thank You is a great album so far.
Definitely for someone to check it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
No, it's not, Bastion, because there's one more album that you brought to my attention
Oh,
that
a tribute to Rikyu Sakamoto, To the Moon and Back. That's another album that came out. Rikyu Sakamoto, he's sick with cancer, but he's made legendary music over the past 3 decades. So he pretty much invited a lot of artists to kind of recreate some of his best and known songs, just
mm,
like Thousand Knives, Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence.
right, love
Um,
that one.
and I think I played one of the tracks like last week.
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
It was one of my favorites
Forbidden.
that you played.
Yeah, it was a very fun, high energy song. Chloro number one, Forbidden Colors, even the Revenant, because he made some of the music from it, main theme. So definitely check out that project. But
Word.
yeah.
But there was another album that came out that I didn't know came out that Bastion brought to my attention. People, I didn't listen to this album at all, but Bastion was sending me certain clips of this album that, I don't think it's real. I refuse to believe it's real, and I will never ever go ahead and listen to this album. But I think because Bastion has sent me clips of this album, I'd like to go ahead and just
Oh,
put that on Bastion that he's listened to this album, and that is the new R. Kelly record. This is real. Called I Finally Admit Again. Bastion, you've heard the
I
record
d-
of
yo, what is this clownery? All right, first of all, let me clarify.
tell people.
Let
Tell the people.
let me clarify. First of all, yes, R. Kelly did drop an album on
This
Friday.
is real. It is yeah, it apparently he did. Okay. It is very real. It is out there for you to listen to where he
Was out there.
was.
Was out there. It's no
What do you
longer
mean?
on platform.
Oh, they took it down?
Yes. I don't know if they took it down on every platform, but
He's
most
looking it up right now.
of the platforms. Well, I'm looking at it
That is
through title.
Bastion Nista looking up the R. Kelly record.
Yeah, so it's not there. So
Okay.
they took it down to many platforms. I did not hear any record, any full record. I've only
Okay. There you
heard
go. There you
someone's
go.
video recording screen on Twitter, and they were just talking about like a line or two that he was saying, but I did not pay any attention to it or any news to it. Besides, people were just saying like, "How did he do the record?" And that's it.
In jail.
And that's it. There is no news story beyond just me sending Gio one tweet about someone
Mm-hmm.
saying one thing he said on the album, which I thought was
Mm-hmm.
funny. So
Mm-hmm.
so that's it.
Nah, I remember hearing this, right? And I remember just still being in denial, like, nah, this isn't real. This did not happen. This we do not speak of this, but nah, like I think one of the lines was like, I like old women, I like young women. They call me a rapist. They call me something else.
A
Like you'd have to
pedophile.
go into. They call me a pedophile. You have to go in a dictionary and look it up because it's not me. I'm thinking you really want us to go up in the dictionary because you can't
Read,
read?
yeah, sounds
Yeah,
guilty to me. That was
yeah,
the only
exactly.
line, literally the only line I
That's
heard
the
from the
only thing I
project.
know.
Saw one person click. I clicked the video. It played. It was like maybe like 4 seconds. I was like, all right, this is crazy. Now I just put that in the back of my mind. And later that day, I saw that they removed it from platforms. And yeah, I didn't. There's no review. I don't think anybody will be in the right mind to review it whatsoever. So
Words. So don't expect the Anthony Fantano review of the new R. Kelly record.
absolutely not. Absolutely not. But
All right.
yeah,
Speaking of SZA fashion, I'd like to play a SZA record if you don't mind. And this is from the new album, SOS, because she needs help. And yeah, I hope she gets the help that she needs. It's one of my favorite records off the album. This is in the first half, which I think is one of the better halves of this album. And it is the song with Travis Scott, but he's just doing his ad libs. Low. We'll be right back with more Black Seinfeld, show about nothing. That was SZA featuring the ad libs of one Travis Scott. That was Low off the latest album, SOS. And speaking of Travis Scott, you know what? I want a new Travis Scott record. It's been a while, Bastion. It's been a while since we heard from Travis. I mean, amidst all the scandal and stuff that happened, but I think it's time for him to finally drop Utopia. It's been almost 5 years since the last project of Astroworld. So,
Yeah,
yes.
definitely one of the more forefront heavy hitters in terms of production. Um,
Yes.
and it would be great to see what he's been doing or cooking up. I don't think that it's funny because I always thought of him as someone that could push the genre of hip hop, but it's more like he just created a separate lane and everything still pretty much sounds the same. So
Right.
there's no pushing whatsoever. But he be doing his own thing. Him and Metro Boomin, who recently
Yes.
came out with an album as well.
Yeah, I heard it. I hear a lot of good things about that album.
Yeah, it's
I
good.
haven't listened to it. It's good.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I think the
Better than
joke
DJ
was, yeah, there we go.
Khaled.
That's the joke. It's like this is how you do an album. Because yeah, I'm trying to pull it up real quick. But yeah, it was a very long project, but apparently he's been making it for a long time.
Oh wow. Okay.
So yeah.
Damn. All right. Um, well, Bastion, we got a couple more minutes left before we say goodbye to the people, and I don't know how you what do you want to talk about? We got the World Cup coming to an end soon. We got the year in sports. We have everything that happened with the Nets and the Lakers are crap, and the Mets blew a good playoff run, and the Yankees blew a playoff run, and we got all this stuff happening. I mean, in a year where we did our best. I think we did really good in not talking about a specific artist who we talked about earlier in this year about their documentary that came out, which we weren't too big of a fan of, and it seemed like we've done a good job of not even mentioning his name anymore. That nigga is sort of like he is Voldemort. He is just
He who should
we don't
not
talk
be named.
who shall not be named, but I find it wild because listeners know that we've always talked about this person a lot. We about the admiration we have for this person
The
and
music and
the music, the music, the music, the influence on the music
and the culture and the clothes and
and the
everything.
culture,
But
and I
that
think people
I
want
think it
to.
says a lot about our growth in general. Like you could
It
no
does.
longer need, like you don't have the need of this person's like guidance anymore.
Right, right. That's very true. But I think it's been interesting about how everyone has asked my damn opinion about everything that's been going on, and so I was just I'm gonna follow your next advice and just say, hey, for whatever happens to me in 2023, whatever I'm doing in 2023, when people ask me, hey, who's your favorite artist, I'm gonna go, oh, it's Paramore.
Paramore, lame. Anyways,
It may be lame, but it's safe.
yeah.
I don't have to answer for the actions of Paramore or Haley Williams.
Oh, I wanted to ask you a question about Vince McMahon. I asked you the other day how
Oh, dude.
WWE has been doing since his departure, and I think we last spoke about it back in July and August. So it's
Yes,
been
we
a couple
talked about it
months.
back in July and August. And the latest update that I had back then was there was more allegations coming out about one Vince McMahon. Once again, Vince McMahon retired from chairman and CEO of World Wrestling Entertainment, and definitely due to money laundering and due to a lot of scandals dealing with sexual misconduct with former employees, where McMahon was using company money and money of his own to fund these sexual explicitness, and giving them hush money basically to never say anything ever again. But now what happened was it seemed like the company was uncovering a lot of missing money, and they found out that it was from Mr. McMahon, paying off these women. Bastion, it's interesting that you have brought that up again, because as recent as this past Wednesday, it is reported that the Wall Street Journal, that McMahon wants to unretire himself and come back to the World Wrestling Entertainment And I'm not gonna lie to you, this news has made me super angry since yesterday, since last night, of just seeing that. It made my blood boil because no disrespect to Vince McMahon, he's probably he is the biggest and he's the best wrestling promoter of all time, right? Without Vince McMahon, you don't get names like Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin. You don't get names like The Rock, John Cena. You know those guys, right? Even if you don't watch wrestling, you know those names because of how famous they are, for their wrestling and even now after the wrestling because of movies and stuff like that. But there became a time, Bastion, where Vince McMahon and his vision of WWE and his material WWE has gotten stale. It's gotten whack. Okay, it's gotten stupid. Okay, and ever since he's been gone, his son-in-law Triple H, my favorite wrestler ever, has stepped in creative and he's made things better. Okay, has he made things perfect? No, but he's made the product more watchable. He's made the wrestling more action packed. Okay, he's made the personalities and the characters thrive more in an environment where if Vince McMahon were still involved, they wouldn't be surviving, they wouldn't be thriving in this. And just reading that Vince wants to come back to this company, even though there's more allegations out against him even now, Bastion. Um, there was an allegation around 30 years ago of this woman referee that apparently um, there was some sexual misconduct done in the limousine, and she has stuck to that story ever since. Now, she's coming out and she's wanting money, and she's demanding a compensation for the damages that she's been suffering for the past 30 years. There was a masseuse that came out and said that McMahon was doing some nasty things back in 2011, and hearing McMahon wanting to come back from close people within the company, he feels like him retiring and stepping down was a bad call because he was just going off with certain people in the company because they told him to step down. He says if he would have stayed, he thinks this whole thing would have blown over, and I disagree because the last thing you would want, since WWE is a publicly traded company, the last thing you would want is having this attention on you as the chairman and CEO because you got sponsorships to deal with, Bastion. You got television deals that you deal with, and so having all those people um that pay for the product and that sponsor the product, that's not a good look. If you're the CEO and you the chairman and you out here making doing a dutsiness and taking company money to hush up these people for your bad doing, for your nastiness, right? You feel me? But here's still the issue at hand, right? And here's the reason why Vince can make it a real issue if he wants to come back. This man still owns 51% of stocks and shares for this company. So if he really wanted to come back, he would make it difficult for the board. You know what I mean? He still has majority say so. He still has majority power. He still has majority stock. He has 51% of it. So that's why I'm a bit nervous. Okay, because the characters that I'm seeing, the storylines that I'm seeing, and the progression that's being made on certain things like the titles, getting some prestige ability back again, certain factions that were once just losing every damn day are starting to become something more. I'm afraid that if Vince comes back, we're gonna just go back to the very same thing that we had in the beginning of the year. So I'm afraid, and I hope for Vince's sake, he stays his ass away for the betterment of his company. Go pick up golfing or something.
And he did retire. I just looked back on July 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
And you
It's
said
been a damn while.
in terms of viewing content, it's been pretty good, right?
It's been a lot better than what we've been receiving under a Vince McMahon regime. Has it been perfect? No. Has it been, but it's been better. It's been better, a lot better. Okay. No show is perfect. Okay. And plus, this is a weekly episodic show. Every week is a new episode. So some days you're going to hit it at the park. Some days it's going to be boring. And some days it's just going to suck. But hey, at least the Triple H is trying something new. Okay, Triple H is bringing back old people that was unceremoniously just fired for no good damn reason, and they're giving them a chance to shine again. Okay, so it's gonna take a while. I remember hearing stories about how the television networks are happy for the new changes that's been happening. I know that WrestleMania is damn near sold out both nights, and they pushed over 90,000 tickets without Vince McMahon. So things like that goes to show that the company can do this without Vince. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't want his candy ass to come back here and ruin this damn thing again, and I won't watch WWE anymore again. Okay, I want Triple H to continue to do this. Okay, I want Triple H to continue to run this ish. All right, like I know he can. So Vince, you need to stay your ass out of WWE for good. You need to go pick up a hobby. You need to learn how to crochet or something, okay? But I understand why he would want to come back. The man has been doing this damn thing since the 80s. What else is he going to be doing? It's 2022, almost 2023. What the hell else is he going to do with his life? This is all he knows. You know what I mean? So I understand why it's going to be hard for him to go away. You know what I mean? I know why it's going to be hard for him to not want to come back in some sort of capacity. But for the betterment of the company, you should stay away. And for all you people still saying that still think Vince McMahon didn't do anything wrong, I hope you never ever become a CEO and a chairman of a publicly traded company. You cannot have an affair with any sort of coworker in a corporate setting like that. This is not a kitchen. You cannot use said company money or hell your own money to shut up all of the women that you were having affairs with and you were making uncomfortable sexual advantages with. I'm just saying.
Okay. Um, Interesting. Well, I hope things get better for next year. I hope what you wish, where Vince McMahon does not come back as the
I hope
showrunner,
so too.
because that wouldn't be good. In terms of, let's talk about one more topic before we end the show. The World
Sure.
Cup. The World Cup is nearing its end.
That's right.
Saturday, we're going to have the third place, which is going to be Croatia versus Morocco. And on Sunday, it's going to
Battle of the
be.
losers. That's
And
what I like to call it. Unfortunately, it is. It is though. Come on.
what? Getting to third
It
place?
is.
That's not losers. Losers are the ones got knocked out the first round. Goodbye. No one remembered you. But Croatia and Morocco played a really, really great. Well, they didn't play great quarterfinals, but they knocked out a lot
Yeah,
of great teams
they did.
in order to make
They
it
did.
there. So you can't diss
Morocco
them.
was definitely. You're right. Morocco was definitely the Cinderella story of this World Cup, like how Croatia was the Cinderella story 4 years ago in 2018.
Yeah,
So them battling out this Saturday for third
third
place. I
place.
think it's yeah, for third place. I know for
Yeah,
third place, it's gonna be a nice little incentive prize. There you go. You get your little participation badge.
that's not, dude.
Um,
Don't. This is not basketball or baseball. This is soccer. Okay, don't
let's
do
talk
that.
about the big boys bashing. All
Don't do
right,
that. Don't
let's
do that.
talk about it.
Put some respect. This is soccer.
All
Okay.
right. It's hard, right? I get it. It's hard. Okay. I'm just joking. It's entertainment bashing, right? You sound like employers that try to employ me and ask me questions about Black Seinfeld. Okay. I'm trying to do a show here. Okay. Trying to make things
You
interesting. All
gotta
right.
put respect. The game is already interesting. All right.
First off, it's not soccer bashing. So you put respect on the game. It's football.
It,
All
it's
right.
it's soccer. It doesn't matter. This is America. We gonna call it soccer. It's the conversation.
See? See?
Anyways,
I need to
yesterday it
put
was
respect.
Argentina versus Croatia. It was 3-0. That was an interesting game. And earlier today it was France versus Morocco. And a lot of people really, really wanted Croatia and Morocco to advance because it'd be pretty big to knock out like two heavy hitters. But
Yes.
that ain't happen. They couldn't
It did not
score.
happen
It was pretty interesting.
at all. At all. I mean, shoot, 4 minutes within the match, and Theo Hernandez. I swear to God, when I heard that name, I'm like, this dude is French? The name like that? 4 minutes within the game, goal. I'm like, oh damn. Well, we know what the final's gonna be after that one.
Yeah.
But hey,
And
I
even though
continued watching the game.
even the last game goal by Muani could have never been done without Mbappe. Just
That's
like
right.
assist. He just cut through four defenders. It was nasty. I was like, damn, this. If he wins,
That's true.
if France wins, this solidifies his legacy times 10. It's already
Absolutely.
soccer is very interesting. I think we discussed this last episode about how like when you have Messi, um, someone that's been a legend but hasn't won a World Cup, it's like it really puts like an underline towards their legacy. So you have to win
Absolutely.
a World Cup. And for Mbappe to win his first one at 19, his first one there, it's like, well, you're already on the same par as Pele. And that's
Mm-hmm.
in hearing that in the conversation is already insane. So if he wins another one at 23, your legacy sealed. Like he don't gotta do anything besides just be a really, really great player for another 15 years. So yeah.
I will say this: this is a very intriguing matchup right now because again, we have France coming back again for their back-to-back potential win of the World Cup, right? And we haven't seen that since the 60s in Brazil, and that's Pele's Brazil. That's something
Exactly.
incredible. You have to think about that. And then on the other hand, you have Argentina. Okay, you got arguably the goat, got Lionel Messi. This is his last World Cup, bashing. He's not doing this ish anymore. Okay, if he's able to do this, he's going to cement his legacy. In my humble opinion, I feel like in a lot of other football fans' opinions, as the goat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a very high intense matchup this coming Sunday.
Legacy match.
Bastion. This is all of the marbles are on the line here.
You gonna put money
I'd
up?
like to know. I'm not put. Oh yeah, that's right. You can put money up on FanDuel, Caesars, DraftKings. I'm not putting money up on this, but I'd like to know your opinion, your humble opinion. Who do you think is going to walk away with the World Cup
France.
this Sunday?
France. I think France is going to win 2-1. That's my hot take prediction.
No penalties, no nothing, just 2-1.
Yeah, no penalty. I think they'll be very. Argentina's pretty good at pulling penalties, but I still think it'll be 2-1.
Because you know who the kicker is for the damn penalties, all right?
Yeah.
It's the damn goat. It's the 5'8" goat, all right?
Yeah. The worst thing would be going to kick off for overtime, because mentally,
I honestly think it could. I can honestly see it going that way, Bastion. I think these teams are so damn good that this is probably going to be low scoring. Well, it's going to be low scoring no matter what. But I think we're going to have a lot of close chances. We're going to get a lot of close calls. I just want a good game, and whomever wins is going to be history making.
So the best way to describe it, if you cannot, if Argentina doesn't have an answer for Mbappe, France won. But if they have an answer, like they could block him, slow him down, like Morocco did earlier today, because they made him slip a couple times where it felt like he had a rough game. But there's other game. If they could find a way to defend, if Argentina could find a way to defend Mbappe, like they got it. But they
Mbappe
can't.
and Messi are good friends, so hey, maybe that could play a factor. Maybe they study each other's games.
It's hilarious because you could say the same thing for France and Morocco, because many of them are teammates with each other.
Right.
So
correct.
they're all they know each other. That's why World Cup is hilarious, because most of them are best friends with each other. So at the end of that game earlier today, there's a lot of hugging and talking.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, I know I ruined your dream, but you made history.
Right. And hey, you're gonna play in third place.
Yes.
So,
going to the semifinals within itself is history. Because then people
exactly.
It's a big deal. So
it is a big deal. And for those of you who want to watch it, it's gonna be this Sunday, December 18th. It's going to be 10 o'clock Eastern. I don't know whatever time zone y'all are in, but it's 10 o'clock here in New York in the morning. So I'm going to be watching that. I'm excited to see that. It's going to be crazy.
Insane.
What's that?
Yeah, that's the last episode of Black Seinfeld, Show About Nothing. I hope you guys will join us again next year. And please check out, it's also a podcast on any type of podcast service. Just type in Black Space Seinfeld, and you'll be able to check out the last episode, which we'll promote on our Instagram or Twitter at Black Seinfeld NY, when we're going to release it.
When are we gonna come back, Bastion? Yeah, let the people know.
Not too sure yet. We're looking maybe third week of January
Mm-hmm,
to
mm-hmm.
to come back. So we'll let people know. We're looking at the third week of January.
From all of us here at Black Seinfeld, just want to thank you again. Thank you for making 2022 what it was. Thank you for tuning in. And as always, thank you for the messages that you send on blackseinfeldny@gmail.com. Thank you for even calling in when we tell you not to. And you always ask me, hey, we want to do call in. So I just want to thank you for that. Trust me, we would not be here without y'all. Thanks to all the management here at WBAI, Bertolt, Linda. Thanks to everyone that always tunes in to us on the podcasts, on Apple and Stitcher and Spotify and TuneIn and all the podcasting platforms out there. Thank you again. Thanks to all the haters. That's what we got to do. I feel like I'm in the BET Awards. And oh yeah, we also got to thank God. If we doing the BET Awards, we got to thank God, because without God, we wouldn't be here. Anything else, Bastion?
No. See you guys next year. All right. Peace.
Peace.